Assalamu alaikum. We have Abdul Rahim Habs Sahab from Los Angeles. Rahim Bhai is an acupuncturist. Assalamu alaikum, Rahim Bhai.
Walaikum assalam.
I just wanted to get some advice from you, from our students who might be interested in this career. How do you become an acupuncturist? What kind of education and prerequisites are required?
Basically the way it's set up right now, and this could be changing in the future, but right now you basically have to have a minimum of 2 years college education. On top of that is good, and many people do enter the acupuncture program with a bachelor degree, some kind of science background, almost like a pre-med background, which gives you the foundation you need.
But 2 years, not 4 years.
Right. But if you do, the more college you do, then it will shorten the acupuncture program, because the acupuncture programs are generally 4 years. But at least 1.5 years of those is Western medical education.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you'll walk in with an advantage in a lot of ways.
So somebody who's in the third year of college today watching this video may not have to spend another 4 years for the acupuncture program.
Right, they could probably do it. I knew some students did it in 3, some as little as 2.5.
Okay, interesting. How much does it cost?
Generally, what you'll see is between $8,000 and $10,000 per year.
Okay.
There's some schools that are a little more, like PCOM, which is in San Diego. But for the most part, that's about the range you see, maybe 8 to 12, 8 to 14. But my school was in the 8 to 9,000 range.
And are there any financial assistance programs available?
There's definitely federal financial aid, and student loans apply. By the grace of Allah, I was able to actually work, and then a lot of the schools are geared for, especially the English programs. Sometimes they'll have English and Chinese and Korean programs. The English programs are generally geared for night classes, so you can work your way through school, which I did. So I didn't really take out any college loans except for just a few $1,000s.
And I've heard you have to have some business skills once you complete your schools. Tell me more about that.
Yes, acupuncture is growing very much. There's a great interest in it in the United States and in the West, but it's not integrated like it is in China and some of the more Eastern countries. Hopefully, inshallah, that'll change. It'll become more integrated. But right now, the responsibility is on the person to, in some shape or form, be a sole proprietor or be in the business or practice for themselves.
Okay.
So I actually do have a job where I was hired by another acupuncturist to see his patients a couple days a week, and I have a private practice a couple days a week. So.
Is this a good profession for women, for Ahmadi Muslim women, understanding, their preferences and?
Definitely. I think that an Ahmadi woman, I think, could even totally gear her practice towards just women.
Because the patient load is primarily men or women?
Well, I would say majority of my patients are women, but there's big niche markets for fertility, OBGYN style, acupuncture and herbs, and so that is a big field. And women generally are the best patients. They do what you ask them to do.
They follow instructions.
Yeah, and they will come see you before they're breaking down, and it's an emergency.
That's right.
Like a lot of men will. So.
No, absolutely. We have exactly the same experience. How much is it? Very competitive. I understand med schools is extremely competitive. I'm sure this is competitive too. But what I'm trying to get at, if someone who wanted to get into med school couldn't, is this an option for them?
Definitely. I think, there's a competitive nature in anything. And
that's right.
For me, I think, the real competition that I had in school was just with myself. Pushing myself. I wanted to exceed, whatever level I was at, to just keep, growing and learning. But to tell you the truth, there's a lot of camaraderie in acupuncture school because, they're smaller, they're more tightly knit. There's not a lot of acupuncturists, so there might be a little more competition out in the field because people are trying to get their business to grow.
Got it.
But as far as the schooling, I didn't see any negative competition aspects, and I think it would be good in that regard.
How soon do you need to know that you want to become an acupuncturist? Is this something you need to decide in high school, college, later in life?
I went back to school after I went to my undergraduate at University of Missouri. I wanted to be a lawyer at that time. I fell off track with that for some, different reasons, but I wound up going back to school when I was 32.
Interesting.
And you'll find, a lot of the people in school for acupuncture are in their mid-20s. They finished maybe their undergraduate school.
Interesting.
But You'll see some 30s, 40s. We even had a few elderly.
Okay, wonderful.
You know, in their 50s, 60s, and I think there was even one student in his 70s.
Excellent.
So yeah, it's open.
Okay, very interesting. So Rahim bhai, if you've inspired some 60, 70 years old out there, or 20, 30 years old out there, and they have more questions, is it okay if they reach out to you?
Definitely.
You'll return their phone calls, you'll return their emails, you're not going to say, oh, who are you? I don't know.
Inshallah, I will definitely do my best to answer any questions that they have.
Jazakallah, we really, really appreciate your time. Before you go, why are you doing this? Why are you making this video?
I care about the people in my Jamaat, and I really care about this medicine too. I think it's a very good medicine that will be very functional for the world at large, and for things before they get to the emergency level where you're needing to go to a hospital. And so I think between the future of medicine and caring about the future of my Jamaat and those members,
so this profession is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. There's job security.
Yeah, I think 2,000 years of lineage in this medicine. I think it's kind of proved its staying power.
Jazakallah, that was fantastic. Really appreciate your time and your help, Rahim. Assalamu alaikum.